We're going to be starting off today by actually doing a YouTube video. I've been playing Shadowverse Worlds Beyond for the past day or so, and I figured I'd just kind of go over everything in the game, give my thoughts, opinions, takes on pretty much everything, and feel free to let me know what you guys think as well. So, a little bit of context. I have been playing the original Shadowverse for quite some time. I never went to tournaments or anything like that. But at least not regularly. But I played casual for quite a few years. Even going so far as to get Grandmaster and Unlimited. One nice thing is quite a few things do get transferred over once you link your account from the original Shadowverse, and that's pretty sick. So one of the things is backgrounds get transferred over. You get some card sleeves, or not card sleeves, alternative versions of cards for any class you got to level 100, as well as a couple packs, depending on what rank you were, and all your emblems. And checking out our emblems real quick. It's a pretty nice system. You got all your stuff here. You can filter by categories, as well as favorites. It's really easy to click something to favorite it, and sort through all your emblems if you like to swap it up. So that's really nice. As well as all your records get transferred over. So all the games that you did get shown here as well on a slightly alternative menu. That's nice. The HUD, everything looks really clean. And one thing, just kind of clicking around, you get nice little sound effects. Sometimes in these kind of gacha mobile games, there's like, one thing that could be a make or a break is just moving through the menus. Does it sound good? Does it feel good? And for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, it definitely feels good. Everything is very clean, everything is smooth, and it feels good to click on stuff. Okay, so next up, let's go to... One thing I noticed is it keeps kind of redirecting you, not redirecting you, but suggesting you go to the Cygames new site they just came up with a few days ago, and you get about a 10% bonus on crystals if you buy from that site, but it was super bugged on release, and for me it's still bugged. So I'm not even really going to be considering that when I talk about other stuff. And speaking about things getting ported over from the first game to this game, there are definitely a couple things that I wish were ported over that really should have been, but I'll get into that in a bit. As far as gold goes, it looks like, comparing it to the first game, it does take a lot more gold to do things like pull packs. It's about a 5 times increase in terms of pulling packs, because in Shadowverse 1 it only took 100 gold to pull for a pack. In this game it's 500, which seems kind of crazy, but there are some more ways to make gold. Whether it's a good conversion or not is kind of iffy at the moment. We'll figure it out once more card packs come out and we have a better sense for the coin economy. So moving right into solo. Practice is very nice. So you can practice against an AI opponent. You could select their deck from a whole bunch of different decks, and beating them you get a lot of gold rewards as well, similar to the first game, and you could have them play your decks as well. But what's different from the first game is you can click on AI tips, and it'll actually show you the best moves you can make with your cards at any given point. How good is the AI at telling you what to do? I'm not sure. I haven't really engaged with it too much. But that is a thing for if you're looking to practice and get a few extra coins. As far as story, I haven't done much beyond the prologue, but from what I saw, you got like a full-blown cutscene. I'm assuming the story is going to be pretty decent, similar to the first game, to be determined, and I'm sure it'll expand as the game goes on. But from what I played, it was pretty clean. And the battle tutorial is pretty good to go through. It kind of shows you how to play every class, to a certain extent anyway. Different combos, different cards, stuff like that. And you get some more coin rewards for doing that as well. Another nice tool to kind of help people learn how to play the game while getting some coins in the process. The Battle Pass. So the Battle Pass doesn't really seem to give you a whole lot on the free version, which is kind of to be expected, but it seems really low. Like, it takes 500 coins to pull a pack, and you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got to hit like level 10 on the battle pass before you can even get a pack out of it, which is a bit unfortunate. It goes up a bit, like you get a pack here at 15, and it looks like the gold rewards increase by a little bit, but it isn't too much. And there's like an occasional pack in here and there. And of course the premium just gives you like 3 to 5 times what you get on the free battle pass. So battle pass, it's okay. It's a battle pass. Is it worth it? Probably, if you're looking to spend like the least amount of money and get the most out of it. Usually the retention things that you have to build up are going to get you the most value. Events, we got a couple events going on. Pretty nice, just some general stuff for playing, clicking around, doing stuff you would usually do. Moving right over into multiplayer. So for multiplayer, we have open match, which is your usual any type of game you want to get to through the menu. You can play a ranked match, or you can play your unranked match here. I'm not really sure why there's ever like this beginner expert kind of difference you can select between, because I mean there's always going to be expert players that want to crush beginners, so they're going to come into the beginner queue and then, you know, just use really strong decks. And there's going to be beginners that want to play against people who aren't really making mistakes, you know, and play against people that are better, so they're going to go into expert. So I don't really understand the difference or why games implement this. Maybe just to make you feel good about picking one of those options. I'm not really sure. And for ranked is a little bit different than the original Shadowverse. So for ranked in this game, you don't lose rank until you hit master. If you win, you get a certain amount of points, and if you lose, you get a little bit less points until you hit master. I don't really like that, because it kind of just means that everything pre-master. Is there any way we could look at the ranks from here? Well, there's a bunch of ranks. There's like D, C, B, and A. What that essentially means is that everything pre-master isn't a determination of skill. It's just how much you've actually played ranked. And it also kind of doesn't really mean anything for getting master. It's just you've played enough rank to get there, which a little bit unfortunate. It would be nice if games were, you know, queued more to you, even if you aren't able to hit master. But I mean, like, everybody's just going to hit master if they play enough. Yeah, even being dumb, you could legitimately lose every single one of your games and still hit master. You will eventually hit master even if you never win. You don't have to go in and out of menus or anything to get to different games. It's just all here right in front of you. So that's definitely nice. And then you have your usual privates. Join private, create a private match, or watch a private match. Same thing as the first game. Pretty clean. Moving over into arena. There's not a whole lot here, but one thing that is super nice is these lobby tournaments. Apparently there's going to be a lobby tournament every weekend. So that's really cool, because the lobby system is actually pretty well done. And that's gonna get a big community vibe going on, with everybody kind of hanging out in the lobby, messing around, watching the tournament on the big screen. I think this is really good for the game. This is fantastic. Weekly online tournaments that you can enter through the game menus is beautiful. And then Grand Prix, not available yet, but this is like Take Two and a whole bunch of other stuff from the first game. If you're familiar with Shadowverse 1, you probably know how this works. Grand Blue lobby system, with it kind of funny. Yeah, it is a little bit like the Grand Blue lobby system. There's a few differences, but for sure, it's very reminiscent of Arxis lobbies. Cards, this is one thing that I'm slowly shifting my opinion on. The way cards work is, in the original Shadowverse, you could liquefy any card that you pulled. In this game, you need at least 3 copies before you can liquefy that card. Supposedly, this is meant to incentivize playing multiple decks, and it does that, but I don't think it does it very well. Because what it essentially means is, if you're getting cards for a class that you don't want to play, like say theoretically, I don't want to play Fairy, right? Or I don't want to play Sword. Every time I get a card for that class, if it's the first of 3 that I pulled of that card, it's basically just a dead card to me, because I'm never going to use it. And you can't turn it into vials. And what you would do in the previous game is you would take a class that you didn't want to play, like say you don't want to play Runecraft. You would go vial every Runecraft card that you got, and whenever you got a Runecraft card from your polls, it would be like, oh, okay, that's not so bad because you can just go vial it. Even if it was a legendary, you could be like, all right, well, I'll just go vial it and get a bunch of vials and finish off a deck you do want to play. In this game, that's not necessarily the case because you would have to pull 3 of that legendary and then a 4th before you could vial it. And that was like one of the biggest ways you could actually make and play around with decks. So what that means is it's very difficult to make a deck, to make a complete deck. And there's people that are going to be out here that are playing with, that are free to play. It's very unfree to play friendly, I think, in that sense. Because it would be different if, they gave you more cards to play with, or there was like just more means of pulling cards. But that's not really how it is. If we back out of this for a second, and we actually go to where we pull cards, in shop, buy card packs. So we already mentioned that pulling a card pack is 5 times what it costs in the original game. And again, we don't know really the coin economy, so I can't say for sure if that is much more or it's going to be about the same amount, but it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good, it doesn't look good. And one thing about pulling packs is that you get 1 free pack every day, right? And you would think, normally you would think, oh, that's not bad, Well, it's not so bad if I get 1 free pack every day on top of everything else. Until you realize that free pack isn't the same as one of these packs. It's its own separate thing. It's its own little grab bag of cards. In your 1 free pack a day, it does not count towards your guaranteed legendary card pack pity every 10 packs, and it doesn't count towards your lucky chest card pack pity. And you cannot pull any of the avatar stuff or cosmetics from your free pack a day. Blue currency is only achievable through paying real money. And if we go to the shop, we go to supplies. This is a 10-pack pull. If we look at something like sleeves, 600 for a pack of sleeves. And then that's all in vials. Your wallet's favorite? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they like your wallet. Because here's a little something. So buying crystals, right? As I said, you get 10% from using their special shop. But we're not gonna talk about that because that's a separate offsite thing. And it's currently bugged for me, so I'm not gonna think about that too much. So your conversion rate here, right? You get 5,000 crystals for $80, right? And if we go to leaders, each one of these leaders cost 1,000. Now, looking at the best conversion rate, which is buying the highest amount, it would mean each leader is going to cost you $20, giving the most favorable conversion rate. And the thing that's really fucked up about this, these should have been free. These were in the previous game. These exact same leaders were in the previous game. And look what we get here. We get the actual leader, we get the card sleeves, we get the emblem, and we get the flare, right? For 1,000. Now let me show you something. If we go to, we have over here, the original Shadowverse is up. It is still playable. And looking here, we have the exact same leaders. And look at the prices. 500, 500, 500. All of these exact same leaders are half of the price in the previous game. And the thing that's really fucked up, my account is linked, and I have a couple of these. They did not transfer over. So I would have to rebuy these same leaders for $20, even though I've purchased the exact same leader in the previous game. That's kind of fucked up. Not gonna lie, that's a little fucked up. And if we're going to shop as well, let's buy crystals in this game, right? We look 5,000 crystals for $80. It's the same price. It is half of the price as the new game. And what do we get? We get the leader, we get the emblem, we get the sleeves, and we get the flare. We get the exact same thing for double the price, even if you've already purchased it in the previous game. Not gonna lie, that kind of pissed me off. But yeah, that's a thing to note. That's a thing to note for sure. That goes over the leaders anyway. Going back to decks, the deck menu, pretty clean. It's about the same as the previous game. I got a couple decks made up here. I wouldn't call any of them complete, but I got a couple decks that are in the works from the cards you pulled. That's another little bit of unfortunate, is that if you do, when you are pulling cards, the incentivization for making different decks does exist, but it only exists in the fact of, like, you pull a couple legendaries that you need for one deck, and you don't have them for the deck that you do want, so you go try out the other deck just because, you know, you actually have cards for it. And then you can't liquefy anything, so you can't actually finish off the deck you do want to play. But it's not the worst. It basically means everybody's playing with a bunch of jank, unless, you know, you spend a bunch of money. Let's head to the park, because the park is actually really well done now that most of the monetization's out of the way. Let's check out the room first. So you get a nice little room in this game, which is pretty cool. You can go into it. It's kind of the same as lobby or guild, but it's more of like your own little personal space. You can customize it however you want. You got some stuff up on the telly. You can watch a little video here. Hang around, you can sit down, goof around in your room. Get some nice music playing. You can edit the room, which is kind of neat. Can you make it into a gooner cave? Yeah, kind of. Actually, if your posters are super goonery, you probably can do that, yeah. Theme, you can change your theme around. They got a few different ones, and it looks like there's another one to unlock as well. We can unlock through the regular lobbies. So I'm sure they'll add more of these in the future. Unlock through real money, of course. And then whenever you unlock one, it doesn't look like you could actually swap the individual items in your room. But one thing that did carry over too from the previous game is that all of your... How do I get to it? All of your legendaries and stuff that you got from the previous game, you kind of get as posters, and you could bedazzle up your room or your guild with all these posters you got from the previous game of legendaries. How is Shadowverse versus MTG? There's a lot of comparisons. Shadowverse kind of has its own mechanics with evolve systems, while Magic is more reliant on the kind of land system, I guess I would say is their main thing. But Shadowverse is more general fantasy, where Magic is more like traditional fantasy. So we got dragons, we got ninjas, we got futuristic stuff and things like that. It's close. Yeah, it's kind of closer to Hearthstone. But yeah, you can bedazzle up your room with all your posters and change around your BGM and stuff like that. It's okay. The room system is okay-ish. It's not bad. It's a nice little room you could have to yourself. You can also get to your events, your personal messages, and your quests through your room as well. And then, of course, you have a very nice menu whenever you're inside the room. And speaking of menu, why don't we check out the avatar real quick? So here's the visages you get. If you hit pity, I believe, at like 300 or something like that, you could pick out one of these as your avatar. Or there's a very low drop chance of getting like a little exchangeable material in packs to exchange for one of these. As I said, you can't get any of this through the one free pack a day, but any other packs you open, there is a chance you could get an exchangeable piece. I got one for Orcus, but I exchanged it for the leader instead of the avatar. You got a bunch of emotes you could use while you're in the lobby. Drop chance is low. Oh, dang, you got 2 already? Nice, Vi. Yeah, I've only gotten 1 so far. You can customize your avatar, hairstyles, colors, subcolors. It's pretty solid. One thing that I would prefer is they don't have any hats. I'm a man who enjoys his hats, and they don't have any hats. So that's a bit unfortunate, but other than that, the customization is pretty good. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of free ways to unlock more avatar items as the game goes on as well. You can get to the shop through here. You can also warp to guildmates or give them a code and they can just warp to you in your room, hang out in your room, or anything along those lines. You can check users, see who's online, guild members, that kind of thing. And you could also just go straight to buying card packs, editing your decks, and checking out your other menus and settings from this menu as well. And why don't we head over to the Guild Lounge? So I actually do have a guild open. It's open invite, so anybody's welcome to join it. You can work towards rewards with your guild. You can customize his room. I've already changed the banners up there a little bit to be a little bit more flashy. And you have like a whole little guild zone where you unlock more things through the guild zone as your guild progresses in rank and other leveling up systems. Yeah, so you could put like your tournament trophies and stuff from your guild here, customize, and you even get like a couple different like mini games you could play with your guild to goof around, and a bunch of different BGMs as well in your little guild home. And it looks like a couple other things. It looks like eventually at 50, you'll be able to change the whole theme. I assume that's going to be similar to how the room is. You saw an NPC called 8i. Yeah, this is how you kind of...
Welcome back.
Whenever you unlock more stuff at the guild, you go here to edit the guild lounge, and then it unlocks those new things at the guild. You could look at the guild info. We already got 3 members hanging out here in the guild, free to join. You could check any applications you got, and any messages sent in the guild or applications, you will get a ping on all of your menus, basically, saying that there's something new. So no matter what kind of game mode you're playing, you will see when somebody says something if you're online. Missions to work toward as a guild. So playing ranked games as a guild, it seems collectively we've done 32 out of 50, and then we get more guild ranked as we progress. Who's contributed the most to the guild rank? It looks like right now Charmed has done 18 ranked games, so they're actually pushing the guild up the most at the moment. And a bunch of guild achievements. And then just all the guild's general rankings. So I think the guild systems are pretty good so far. I'm really liking how it's all been incorporated. It's a really nice sense of community. As far as the guild systems, a really cool thing to do with people. Gonna rush throughout pace charms, yeah. And you could even race to see who's contributing the most to the guild, and things like that. And you can chill here, watch on the big screen, kind of like in the room, as well as you can also get to any games. So if you go over to the table, you can go like find opponent, and then go look for whatever you're looking for in terms of games played. And then you can get to all your other stuff through here as well. And then going into the main lobby, which is pretty cool. We got a couple events going on in the main lobby with chests. You can go unlock new stuff, get gold, avatar items, a little bit of flair. And you can see everybody else that's hanging out in the lobby too. Fish? Could that be squishy fish? Anyway, everyone's playing a game, a fellow fish, yeah. And this is for the event. You could use your keys here, unlock new stuff. It's pretty good. The stuff you get from the event is solid. You get some cosmetics, some gems, some more flares, some vials, all good stuff. And then you could also just hit F4 and look for any kind of battle you're looking for. Even search up replays. Or you could go over to the main table over here, and you could see people playing in real time. So if you're looking to have tournaments or anything like that, I think this will be a good little zone to maybe like watch, view stage screen. Yeah, so we can watch them play from here basically. And I'm not sure if, ooh, it even shows their names too on the top and the bottom. I haven't noticed that. And then you could hit enter to chat and stuff like that. You can tab over to see your different kinds of chats. But yeah, and I'm assuming in battle we'll let you go spectate their battle directly. So I'm definitely going to have to be having some tournaments with this game too, because there's a nice way to spectate directly, and a lot of different ways you could go about it. Running around, looks like there's a lot of different things in the lobby as well. Shop attendant Mai. Looks like you can buy a couple different things here. In terms of your clothes, your tops, your bottoms, all of it gold. So do you want to spend gold on more cosmetics, or do you just want everything to go to packs? That's really up to you. There's some good emotes, cosmetics, and different stuff like that. But it's really just up to you how you want to spend the currency that you get. And you could also do other things like just kind of emoting as you're running around. And the chat systems are pretty good. Apparently there's a voice chat as well, although I have not tried it out myself. And you could just exit, head back to the home menu. And yeah, then you have all your things on your main menu. You have your little missions here on the side that you can look at. Can quickly get to different stuff, know what you're going for, gifts, and swapping your background right here from the menu. So yeah, that's a review of pretty much everything in the game. I'm not sure if I missed anything. So far, the game itself I think is amazing. The game is really, really good. It's just unfortunate that some of the monetization routes they went, hopefully that improves in the future. So it's a little bit free to play unfriendly. If you're a low spender, I think you're going to have a great time. And if you're a whale, of course, you're going to have a great time. I assume that they're going to see the backlash because they are getting a lot of negative feedback on the monetization. I assume that they're going to make some sort of changes, or incorporate some new stuff into the game that'll probably improve that in some way in the future, or at least add some more free stuff. But yeah, that was my thoughts, opinions on Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. Great game, monetization not so great. Hopefully it improves. And that's going to be it. Take care, everybody. All right, bye-bye.